Hey guys, got a quick Tim Henderson video, and then I want to talk about some basic stuff here for a minute. Here's the video.
If you do not believe that we are in the final moments of the end of days, you are Bible illiterate. I don't mean that cruelly, but that's truth. So stay tuned. I will keep you updated as I know. But the breaking news right now is that Israel has struck Syria and they're putting a stop to the aggression of Iran.
All right, Tim, that's just a little bit extreme, don't you think? Don't you guys think that's a little bit extreme for a guy to basically call every Christian on the planet? And keep in mind, there's a lot of Christians in other countries, millions upon millions of Christians in other countries. Let's say China, for example, which will have more Christians, total population of Christians by the year 2030 than the USA. Let me say that again. They're predicting that there will be more Christian Chinese people in China than there will be American people, Christian people in America in 2030. There's something like 85,000 new Chinese Christians every week. Can you imagine that? Now, God is moving, but you know what? That's because there's a lot of Chinese Christians sharing the gospel with other Chinese people, and God is just pouring out in abundance. It's amazing. It's awesome. God be the glory. But listen, Tim, millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of Christians around the world do not care. Yep, they don't care about your views of the end times. They don't watch the news. They don't have electricity, many of them. They're living in fear for their lives. They if they practice Christianity, they could get thrown in prison. Do you understand that really? I mean, I don't. But Tim, you drive around town with your camera running and you talk and you put 5, 10 videos a day up on YouTube publicly declaring things that would get you beheaded in Iran, that would get you thrown in prison in China, or at least fired from any job you could ever possibly think you could have in China. I mean, you'd freely speak it all the time. And all those millions of people, Tim, they're not illiterate, Tim. They just don't believe what you believe. Okay? And guess what, Timmy? Unfortunately for you, you will be proven to be the illiterate one because you have been saying this for years now. And every single day that goes by, you're proven wrong. So, doesn't this video, by the way, sound a lot like the video? I mean, Israel just attacked Syria, struck some Iranian targets at the border, didn't they? Guess when this video was made, guys? Yep, just over a year ago. Rapture at the door. Rapture at the door. What does that mean? See, to Tim, it means nothing because Tim relies on hype. Tim relies on a constant false lie of urgency, a false lie of doom and gloom, a false lie of false hope to Christians. He relies on their inborn need to have this to get views of his video, okay? Because nobody would watch Tim's videos if he didn't talk about the rapture being soon. And Tim, you know that because that's why you title all your videos like you do. You title your videos Rapture Very, Very Soon, and you play the video, and it's got nothing to do with the rapture. Nothing. So why'd you title it that way? I know why he did. Because he wants views. And it's very strange to do that, to go after views like that, and then monetize the channel. Isn't that strange, guys? Because it sure looks like this is a man who is onto something. He's figured out, hey, I can make money from this. And Tim, if that's not what you're doing, then get on your channel and explain. Because why are you doing it? It sure looks like that's what you're doing. Let me jump over here to this thing. I want to share with you guys some thoughts on, why is the rapture so attractive to people? Why is it that people are so obsessed with this? Why is it that Tim gets views? Chad Thomas gets views. Barry Scarborough. These people are constantly feeding information to 99% of their audience is Christians who are looking for the information, obviously. There's a large market for it. I mean, by the way, you guys, I'm in the digital marketing space. I've been in it for 23 years. So I know what I'm talking about when I say this. Plus, I use YouTube a lot. Guys like JD Farag are immensely, incredibly popular on YouTube. I mean, it's mind-boggling. Do you guys realize that JD Farag gets as many views of his sermons every week as would fill a large college stadium? Do you understand how many people are watching him? Over 100,000 people a week watch that prophecy update. That is a stadium full of people. It's like he's standing down on the ground, and many times it's even more. He's standing on the ground. Imagine him in Ohio Stadium in the end zone, and the entire stands are packed with people, and the entire field is packed with people, and they're all listening to him talk about the end times. That's how popular this is. That's insanely popular on YouTube. That puts him in the top, probably in the top 200 YouTube channels. I don't even know if he realizes that. I mean, it's hugely popular. So why? Why is it? And I think I've pretty much got this figured out. It's popular for 5 reasons, okay? And basically the 5 reasons are, here, I'll skip to the end. Escapism, empowerment, fun, seeing the wicked get theirs, get what's coming to them, and it proves the Bible, okay? So let's start with number 1, escapism. So it's human nature to worry, okay? I worry. I worry about 2 years from now, basically. I've got a business. I worry that the economy might falter, and oh my goodness, what's going to happen. Many of us are worried about, the economic troubles of the world in general. We don't like to hear about trillions of dollars of debt. Ebola will come into the news, and we'll worry about that. Maybe, what if there's a big, disease coming that's going to wipe out people? We worry about earthquakes off the coast of Seattle, wiping out millions of people. On and on. We could worry constantly. And let me show you a quote from a guy I found recently. He's a Rapture hobbyist who's written a big white paper that you can get on his website. And here it is in a nutshell. It's very very revealing. He says, "I have been obsessed with the doctrine of the rapture since becoming a born again Christian in May of '75." So he's been obsessed for getting on to 50 years now. He's been looking at this. Imagine 50 years obsession. I bolded the parts here. My obsession began when I learned, so he is 100% convinced of this, that I did not have to fear being a part of or a witness to any of the horrific things I knew were going to take place, because I would be snatched out of the earth before the judgments of God upon the earth began. Now, I didn't print everything he wrote here, but he goes on to say that he was really worried about the state of the world in 1975-ish. And he realized, this whole place is going to go down, man. I mean, we got the Cold War going on. We've got gasoline shortages, oil embargoes. We've got, we got president, we got people being assassinated. They just exited the 60s with all that turmoil. Vietnam was still tumultuous. It's just all kinds of stuff going on. And, energy crises and going off the gold standard and all this stuff. So, this guy was worried about his future, and he became saved over it, which is good. But you know what? He's saying to himself, this rapture thing is really, really awesome to believe in, because it's telling me that I don't have to fear any of that stuff that's coming. Now, this is what you rapture enthusiasts have got to get used to. And this is I'm only trying to help, because I myself struggle with worry, okay? But I'm only trying to help. Listen to me, guys. It might happen to us. We might see a global economic collapse such as never been experienced in history before. We might have every single country slide into a Great Depression, and God leaves us right here. We have to live through it. In the 1300s, almost half of Europe died in the plague. Can you imagine such a thing happening today? The rapture hobbyist would be out of his mind, out of his mind. I can't imagine why Jesus hasn't snatched us out. It's coming for us next. Why are we still here? See, and here's the sad part is I guarantee you one really, really big, bad, awful, horrible thing happens to this country. And I mean really bad, not even worse than 9/11, because 9/11 didn't directly impact every single person in the country. You take that, a giant, horrible thing happening to this country, and you're going to watch people leaving this pre-trib rapture thing, or the rapture is very, very, very soon. You're going to see Tim Henderson's views drop like a stone. You know why? Because people are going to wake up and realize, oh my goodness, I'm not guaranteed anything here. So this is why us guys like us talk about rapture enthusiasts as escapists. It's not that you're escaping this 7 years tribulation. I mean, that's only part of it. It's also you're escaping right now. Who cares about the future if we're in the end of the end of the end days? I get more flack from people when I dare to doubt that we're in the very last of the very last of the very last of the nanoseconds of the end of time than anything else. Than anything else. People hate me saying that. They hate it. You know why? And then you see people are obsessed. This guy since 1975, for goodness sake, he's still not giving up. He's clinging to it. This is how he gets through his day. And it came to me that, suddenly that, that's why people get so mad. If we're not in the end of the end of the end of the end, then oh my goodness, I just might really suffer. And nobody wants to think about that. Second thing is empowerment. Very similar, but knowing, see, here's a big thing I see all the time. Well, us end times studiers, us prophecy watchers, we really know what's going on in the world. All those powerful people, all those big talking guys in the situation room and on the news, billionaires and presidents of countries, they're all hanging around in Syria and things are going on in Syria. They don't even know they don't even know what's going on. We know what's going on. We know. See, I can look around the world down my nose and say, yep, I know what's going to happen in Syria. And that gives you a feeling of power. See, I often will see the same people who are the biggest rapture enthusiasts also happen to be people who love conspiracy theories. They for sure trend towards, there's an Illuminati, there's big powerful people running the whole world. They work directly for Satan. 9/11 was an inside job. President Kennedy was shot by more than one person. The government was behind, and they're huge Trump fans. And it's like all that kind of goes together because people who otherwise don't feel like they have any power get their power kick by feeling important because they know something other people don't know, or they're on to the big guys. Okay, these big guys, they think they're fooling them. They think they're fooling people, but they ain't fooling me, man, because I really know what's going on. So that's empowerment. Third thing is it's just plain fun. So this drives me crazy a little bit, I have to admit. I really hate it when a rapture enthusiast will tell me that I'm not a very good Christian because I don't fantasize about paradise. I don't fantasize about the world ending, because that's what they're doing. They're sitting around all day, apparently, fantasizing about getting to heaven and all of their troubles going away and being without any sickness or death or disease or fears or worries. No worry. I actually literally hear people say, and I thought this guy was joking when he first said it. He says, out of the pulpit, he says, yeah, I hate getting up to every morning to go to work too, but someday soon we'll be raptured and that'll be over. I mean, he literally said that. I thought he was joking. No, he meant it. Listen, guys, this is not holiness. It's not holiness to fantasize about paradise. Who wouldn't want paradise? Why is that? Why does that prove how good of a Christian you are? See, J.D. Farag will couch it like this. We need to hold on less tightly to the world and cling to our heavenly home. Okay, that's not what you're doing there. You're not doing that. You want something better than you have. You're showing that that kind of talk and that kind of behavior shows that you're not content with what God has given you. You want something better. And yes, it's hard. Yes, I look forward to a day of no death or disease or pain. Everyone does. That doesn't make me more holy than someone else. Everybody wants that. You guys may as well be sitting around dreaming of winning the lottery. Why does that make you a better person? So, it's a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun to watch the news and go, ooh, look at that, man. Someday, very, very soon, very, very, very soon, we're going to be in paradise with no more worries, no more cares, bliss for eternity. Is dreaming about eternal bliss holiness, or is being content with what you have and saying to the Lord, this life is painful, but I'm going to stay right here and do what you want? Is that holy? Just make up your own mind. Which one is more holy? Is it more holy to dream about the future paradise you're going to inherit? Or is it more holy to focus on what God has for you, even though it's painful? I'll tell you which one is more fun. It's the first one. Number 4, these people cannot wait to see the wicked people get theirs. They can't wait to watch the gay people, the transvestites, the atheists, anybody who's ever ticked them off or challenged them, Muslims, and anybody who they're afraid of. They can't wait to watch Jesus kick their butts. And I'm not just making this up. I have mountains of evidence of people saying this. I have J.D. Farag literally saying in one of his hype-driven sermons, quote unquote, you know what? I can't wait to see those people bowing to the Lord, and I hope I get a front row seat. Literally said that. I hope I get a front row seat. So this one is particularly insidious and wrong. We are only saved and going to heaven to be with God the Father out of his mercy. Out of his mercy. This had nothing to do. We are not better people than those people. The world is a sinful place, and we are just as much to blame as everyone else. So I'm really getting sick and tired of hearing people say, Lord, come and get us. I'm so tired of the wickedness. It's never my wickedness. It's always that wickedness over there. Those wicked people. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not the one who's to blame. I'm good. It's the abortionists. It's the brown people overseas that God doesn't really care about, that worship something weird. I don't know. Those are the wicked people. It's the atheists. It's the Hollywood left. Pick your person you don't like. That's horrible. That's a horrible, horrible attitude. We would be right there with them if we weren't miraculously saved and mercifully given a new heart. We all were born hating God. So maybe it's time to say, I can't wait till we are given our glorified bodies and I don't sin anymore. I'm tired of my sin, Lord. Come quickly and stop me from my sin, because my sin is just as grievous to you as anybody else's. So I'm not trying to talk down. I do this too, okay? I'm just saying, this is rampant all over these channels. And finally, this is really dangerous, you guys. There are many, many people who routinely get on YouTube and say, we know the Bible is the truth and the God's word because, and then they fill in the blank with the latest news item that they read about that they claim is prophecy taking place. We know the Bible is the word of God because look at Israel. You guys, we are supposed to walk by faith, not by sight, number 1. Number 2, the news changes all the time. God forbid that something actually does happen to Israel and they get wiped out. Believe it or not, because I know none of you guys know history, it's happened already in the last 2,000 years. Twice, actually. It happened in 70 AD, but then it happened again when the Ottoman Turks came in around 1500. So the Jews were in Jerusalem and they ran things. I mean, I know you guys just don't believe me, but go look it up. They even tried to build a temple and failed. And some might argue miraculously failed. You guys should look this up. It's quite interesting. So no, something could happen to Israel and they fall apart and that's it. And you guys are left with your heads wondering, why am I wrong? Because guess what, Tim? Back to the original quote you said. Tim, You're wrong. We are not in the end of the end of the end of the end of the end. We are not, period. You know why? Because that was 12 months ago. You said the rapture was at the door. Rapture didn't happen. You were wrong. Why do you have a shred of credibility? So, need to stop trying to prove the Bible, guys. We can't do that. We cannot prove. Christianity is based on faith. Belief in the Bible is based on faith. And faith is tough and it's shaky ourselves, but it's you can't prove Christianity. Stop trying. You're only going to look like, have mud on your face, or you're going to find yourself doubting when what you thought was surely going to happen doesn't happen. So, hope this was helpful to someone. If you guys need to talk to me, chat me, right on my wall. I won't delete it. And if you guys even want to have a discussion, I'm happy to do it if you don't seem too scary to me. Thanks a lot.